Okay guys, so today I'm going to show you all of the plants that I've got for my bioactive builds that are coming up in the next week and fortnight. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Let's start off with the biggest, brightest plant. This is a red Rose Mania, not sure how you say it, big type of bromeliad. This will be going in my crested gecko's cage. As you can see, if I back away from this, put my hand there, it's absolutely huge. I got this from the garden centre yesterday and it looks really good, so yeah. The three plants in the centre of the shot here are Pylea Spruce Norfolk, Fittonia white vein and Fittonia pink skeleton. I got these from Bioactive Herbs. They arrived sort of slightly flattened, especially the white vein, but they've picked up. These are also going in Splat's enclosure and they're going to be sort of the foreground plants. Here we have a quite limp looking Caledonia elegans, or elegans. It's otherwise known as the parlour palm. I'd actually bought this from Bioactive Herbs to be my background plant, but it's arrived far smaller than I expected. It said on additional info that it was 45 centimetres tall, and obviously if I put my hand next to it, it's absolutely minuscule. So I did have to buy some more background plants from the garden centre, like the big Rose Mania. But yeah, these three plants are all from Bioactive Herbs as well. They're all the same type, Neoregelia fireball. I expected them to be smaller than this, and that's why I bought three. But obviously I've got three, and every single one of them has a pup. Here, and here, which is basically like a miniature version of the plant. It's how they replicate themselves. The one over there also has another tiny pup coming off the side, so they look really good. They've actually blushed a lot since leaving them in this window, and the pups are so heavy that they can't stand up on their own, so I am really pleased with those. We also have this little tiny purple Rose Mania. I bought this from Bioactive Herbs expecting it to be sort of like twice the size or something, but again it was tiny and it arrived all squashed up. But I've watered it and it's came back to life, and also it's got a little tiny pup that's like noticeably grown since I got it, so that's doing quite well. Here we have one of my favourite plants. It's just a bog standard everyday plant that people call pothos or pothos, I'm not sure how you say it. I call it devil's ivy just because I got it from B&Q years ago, and that's what it was listed under, but nobody else seems to call it that. But anyway, it's just a pot of this. I got it from Bioactive Herbs and it's growing really well. And finally, for Splat's tank, we have this Ficus benjamina weeping fig. Now, I did want Caledonia for the background plant because it's not as fussy in its conditions as this, but I do really like Ficus. And this one is about 3 feet tall, including the pot, so it's like a foot taller than Splat's enclosure. But obviously I got this from the garden centre, so I will have to take the soil out, so that'll make it shorter. And apparently it does tolerate cutting quite well, so I might just have to trim it a bit. As you probably know, I'm also planning a bioactive setup for my leopard gecko speckled. I did order 3 plants from online reptile shop, and it's been like 3 weeks or something stupidly long now, and I've only received one of them, so I'm not sure where the other 2 are up to, but I might receive those, or we might just get a refund or something, I don't know. But the plants I've got, this is the only one that came from online reptile shop. You've actually seen it before. It's the Sansevieria Futura Superba, I think. It's a type of snake plant, I think people call it. These other 2 plants got from the garden centre. There's this little tiny one. I've not actually read the name yet, so I'm not even going to try and say it through the camera. But yeah, there's that little succulent. And there is this one that I know is a crashula. So as you can see, I've got absolutely stacks of plants in this window here. And next week I should be making the first video on it. You'll probably see Splats first, because I've got all the stuff for that already, but I've just not got time to do it until next week. And I'm also waiting for Arcadia to release the substrate still, so that I can do a speckled bioactive system. But whatever happens, there'll be at least one bioactive video next week. So I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you have any tips for caring for these plants, I mean, I have researched it myself, but if you've got any extra tips that you feel will be useful for me, please leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.